which is shading techniques. So we have a couple that we're going to do today. I'm just going to draw some boxes so we can keep them contained, and you guys can see that I am drawing with my whole arm, not just my wrist. That's going to help me with straight lines and not tire myself out too much. Okay, so the first shading technique we are going to do is called hatching. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick a light source. So I like my light source to be on the right hand side at the top. And hatching is, in essence, just a whole bunch of lines. So when we shade, the opposite corner to the light source will be the darkest one, and then as we go closer towards the light source, our lines get fewer, they get further apart, and they get lighter. And you can see that by putting the pencil in this dark corner to start, all the darkness is concentrated in this part of the square that is supposed to be shadowy. So that is cross-hatching in essence. I recommend doing this with a 2B or harder, just because you can see my lines have started to get too fluffy and not as distinct. Then we have cross-hatching. So I'm going to grab a 2B for this. Even though it's not my favorite pencil, we're going to put the light source in the opposite corner. And so I can show you guys that you can turn your page to get whatever effect you need to do. So this way of drawing makes the most sense to me. So I've just turned my page. It also allows you guys to see a bit better. So we've got our hatching, and now we're going to cross it. So as we get closer to the light source up here, we'll have fewer lines and they'll be lighter and further apart. So this is what is going to create the depth and tonality in our drawings, because just outlines are quite boring and don't make for exciting drawings. Okay, so here we have a cross-hatched square. You can very clearly see the way that the lines intersect. So the next one we are going to do is a stipple, and I'm going to draw a little shape for this. I'm going to do a circle inside my square because stippling is very challenging. So light source is top right hand side here, and I'm just going to map out the highlight there and refine this line, and we're going to start stippling. So the other teachers absolutely hate it when I put this in your exams and your tests, because there are so many of you doing this all at the same time. So I'm actually going to swap to a fatter pencil. So the more blunt your pencil is here, the easier it is, because the pencil will make a bigger mark. So I'm taking my 8B and I'm just being quite rough with it here to get that dark piece. And as I go closer to my little highlight, I'm going to press more gently and keep my dots further and further away. Okay, cool. So I have a circle there, and now what I'm going to do is grab a little piece of my putty eraser just to erase the little marking that I made for that highlight, so it looks seamless and not like I planned it. There we go. Lovely. Now you just chuck it back in and wipe the stickiness off your fingers. Okay, so that is stippling. Stippling or dots. Stippling is its proper name. The next technique we'll look at is called doodle. and it's one of my personal favorites. Okay, light source will do there. So you just sort of start drawing. And again, as we get closer and closer to that light source in the top corner, the doodles become lighter and further away. So you can feel free to pick up and drop your line whenever you want. And you're just going to scribble and turn it into something that hopefully looks like something. There you go. So that is the doodle technique. We have 2 more. The next one we're going to do, it's not really a shading technique, but it does help to show when things are 3D, and it's called contour lines. So I'm going to do another circle here. I'm going to try be less sketchy. Pencil broke, and we're just going to give this an outline. And we're just going to draw contour lines to sort of give the impression that this is a 3D shape. So very simple, easy to do. Think of it like a map. And then the final one is just normal shading. So the way that we do this is much the same as how we did here, where we just start, I normally start in the darkest part, and then I'm actually going to use something else for this. I'm going to use this graphite pencil. So you're just going to start very, very light. And as you get darker, and it's actually quite easy to blend the shading into itself if you have the practice of maintaining consistent pressure. Okay, that's looking good. Now we're going to take a darker pencil. You don't necessarily need to use all of your pencils for every drawing, but it does help a little bit. So you guys can see me layering the pencils over each other. I'm getting this really smooth, seamless gradient just by adjusting the pressure of my pencil, and I do not have to touch the blasted shading tool. Okay, light sources there, light sources at the top there. So there we go. Those are our sort of 6 shading methods that we use in drawing. We use these to create tone, a shift from lightness to darkness. We use it to add texture. I mean, it's very easy to see that hatching can be used to create hair or fur. Doodle can be used to create like wool or the texture of clothing or something cool. So yeah, that's what this is, and I hope that watching me draw has helped you guys.